Again, the question is quite similar to this one. In the light of recent events, we have noticed that there are a lot of people out there on social media who are pretending to be professionals and are attempting to offer help to people. So, could you please explain to the audience why this can be a very dangerous trend?
Yes, so this has been happening and it's not a new trend. It always happens. We've had recently, especially COVID, I think it just got highlighted more. We, for instance, had a MBBS student who hadn't even finished MBBS and she was treating people with anxiety and depression. And she was
Oh,
very vocal about it. People were doing stories on her. Prominent TV channels were doing, stories on her. And there were some very
mhm.
prominent doctors, including some endocrinologist who was promoting her, and that is a sad scenario. I think लोगों को mental health अभी भी नहीं समझ आता है कि ये कितना serious है. It is exactly
As
like if you
important as
don't
physical health.
have, for instance, अगर आपने MBBS नहीं किया है या आपने surgery में पढ़ाई
Yeah,
नहीं की है, how can you go on and operate on somebody who has maybe a
true.
cardiac issue? It is as simple as that. Mental health psychology is a science of behavior, thoughts, emotions, and obviously depending on the subfield you choose to focus on, it has a different kind of application. But you need to have bachelor's at least. You need to have at least a bachelor's degree, and then obviously
Yeah,
आपका experience, exposure होना चाहिए, training होनी चाहिए, supervised work होना चाहिए. So this was really sad. There were people claiming to be mental health experts going around doing workshops and seminars and other things. As I said, there is, क्योंकि यहाँ lack of awareness है, किसके पास जाना भी चाहिए, ये आपका हक है. जब आप किसी से मदद मांगने जाते हैं, at least ask them, look, I think I need
yeah,
some support. Are you eligible to help me with this, or can you refer me to somebody else?
true,
It's as simple as that. Please
true.
be aware. I think as a client कह दीजिए या as a patient कह दीजिए, आपको सबसे ज्यादा पता है कि what you are going through, and you need to take charge of your own lives. You need to, आप ऐसा ना सोचे कि चलो मैं कहीं जा रहा हूँ अपनी जिंदगी उनके हाथों में दे दूंगा. ये बहुत different approach है.
Yeah,
तो there were people, especially जो हो रहा था recently, even some people called me up asking that, we're thinking of starting these listening circles. We just want to, everybody's been posting, I'm here for you, I will listen to you, share your problems
yeah,
with me. It can have
true, true, true.
devastating consequences. Kyunki, for
Yeah,
instance, all of us can listen. We are all born with listening, obviously, except obviously for some, just especially abled बच्चे होते हैं जिनका वो शायद नहीं होता है बचपन से, but most of us can listen, right? But how to
yeah,
listen mindfully, empathetically, actively in a counseling kind of space is very different. You're trained for it very differently. कई बार ऐसा हो
true.
सकता है कि as friends, see, it's okay. मैं ये बिल्कुल नहीं कह रही हूँ कि we should even as friends stop listening to our friends. It's completely fine. It's a social support system which is psychologically very important. We need to have friends. But जो
Yeah,
हम ये listening वाला जो हम एक expectation create करते हैं, what it does is it makes people feel that maybe there's a lot of vulnerability involved. So once somebody feels like they can trust you, they can maybe even start sharing about their abuse experience that they have had when they were like 5 years old or 7 years old, or the rape
yeah.
cases or any kind of traumatic experience. और तब अगर आपके पास skill नहीं है उसको handle करने की, you can do more harm than good. So your intention may be right. You may want to help people, but this is not the way
You
to
can
help
maybe
people. Trust me.
you can maybe convince them to see a therapist or a professional
Yes.
if you really care.
बिल्कुल थी. जैसे advocacy हम कर सकते हैं with right kind
Yeah,
of knowledge and reading about mental health. All of us should obviously encourage people to seek professional support, क्योंकि as I said बहुत stigma है. पर इसका ये बिल्कुल मतलब नहीं है कि आपको खुद listening sound board बन जाओ, because आप wound खोल दोगे, पर अगर आपको उसको अब नहीं पता how to handle that wound after that, you can end up doing
yeah,
more harm. And sometimes it has led to kind of severe consequences like suicide and
yeah.
other things. I have had at least 6 people share in the past 2 months with me how they've reached out to these kind of people who were not even psychologists or counselors. They were from different fields, and these people were misguided, and they've had such terrible experience that they stopped believing in the power of psychotherapy and counseling and stuff. So it can affect somebody very, very deeply. Please